back and feeling it. Feeling it on this one, Eric. We're ready.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Another day, another week, here in the lives
Another
of our average
dollar.
sports by our average guys,
If you want to
Eric
sponsor
and
us.
Ty.
Yes, thank you.
That was
Thank
a
you,
lot
Eric.
of
I
rhyming.
stepped all over you on that one, yeah.
That was a lot of rhyming. We made it, though. We did it.
We're here. We're glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. It's Average Sports with your average guys. Eric and Ty.
Yeah.
My co-host already let us in on that one, but let's dive in. Let's talk about sports.
Yeah,
shall we?
That's
what we do on
That's
this
kind of
show.
what we're here to do. We're here to
Right.
talk about.
All right,
here to talk
setting it
about
up.
sports in the most average way possible.
Yep. All right, Eric. How about that recap, man?
Well, Ty, we always gotta mention what we're not talking about this week. So
I'm looking
first
at
and
a blank.
foremost, it's not difficult. It's a little old at the moment, but we're just going to skip right over it. It is the Myles Garrett suspension and him knocking or beating the crap out of Mason Rudolph with his own helmet. So we'll skip past that. I think the NFL did an okay
There's
job
been
with
enough.
it. So
Yeah,
I think we're
There
good.
has been enough chitter chatter about that. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big
Eric.
topic, so we'll move right past it.
Yeah.
Into the recap. I want to talk about a whole lot of Miami goodness going on right here. Let's talk about the Miami Heat.
Goodness. Gross.
12-4.
Okay.
They look great.
That is
so far
surprising.
this season.
Yeah, looking at their record. Yeah, they'll throw you off.
Yeah, they landed Jimmy Butler in the offseason, which was a big pickup for them. They got Dragic, who's back and finally playing healthy. He's been kind of in and out of the lineup for the last couple years since they got him. And Nunn, he's been playing fantastic. They look really, really good. I'm surprised that they're sitting at 12-4. Let's see if they can continue it. So good for them. And then my FIU Golden Panthers beat up the Miami Hurricanes over the weekend.
The who?
They got their first win against the Miami Hurricanes in their history. They won 30-24. And the current college football playoff rankings, Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Clemson 3, Georgia 4, Alabama on the outside at number 5, and Utah also up there, 10-1,
Okay.
number 6.
All right. Now, guys, it's been about a couple of weeks since the last episode we did, so we didn't get to give a shout-out to the latest MLS winners. If you weren't paying attention, the Seattle Sounders took home their second MLS Cup in franchise history. League has only been around, since 96? We just looked that up. So getting 2 in that span, that's pretty good. That's successful, I would say. They topped over Toronto FC 3-1 back on November 10th. So I'm already looking forward, though, to next season. Did you get any soccer in? Probably not enough.
No.
No.
I'm waiting for the St. Louis team.
Okay, fair enough. And XFL until then, right? I bet they'll be moved out of town by the time.
I mean, we technically, I
That team
think,
comes.
what it's our over-under? 2 years?
2 years.
So,
All right. That's always in our back pocket.
well, 2.5.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Because at least 2 years, I think, is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think I said the over and you said 2, so we went 2.5.
Okay. On the topic of the show for us, we're talking a little NBA. Current best NBA
Current
player
best
team.
NBA player
You came up with this one,
team.
so give
Yeah.
me where your head's at. Let's
I think this is a fun topic to talk about because the NBA is one of those. It is certainly one of those leagues that is all about the star power. There are always those teams that run deep, especially the Popovich teams. Tim Duncan was a great player. Tony Parker, those guys were awesome, but it was all about the team ball. The NBA is mostly about the superstar, though. Let's be real. And there are a couple superstars that we want to talk about, and I have one, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be really that polarizing, but it's certainly probably not going to be the most popular pick, but it's Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. So a couple things that I want to point out for him. His team's 11-5, and they played 16 games. He's played all of them. He's a great three-point shooter. He hits about 350 from behind the arch, which is fantastic. Good for him. He's running about 31 points a game. He also averages almost 10 assists a game. And Gets about 1.5 steals a game, and he's a fantastic player. This guy is a sharpshooter. He is all over the floor for the Dallas Mavericks. He can do almost everything imaginable. He's not the biggest guy in the world, especially I think for the player that you're going to mention, or even someone like LeBron James. He's not that size, but he's a fantastic player. I love his game. I love watching him play. He's super exciting to play, and that's one of the reasons that I picked him over anyone else, is that he's just so much fun to watch play, whether he's passing the ball around, whether he's actually taking his 3-pointers, or if he is coming below the arch and actually putting something in. I just love watching him. He's a fantastic player. He's a good ball handler as well too. He averages a little bit more on the turnover side than some of the others out there, but he's still a fantastic player. And currently, he's number 2 in the MVP ranking, so I'm not that far off.
Well, who's number 1, Eric?
I'm going to say number 1 is probably the guy that you picked.
Okay. Well, it's not LeBron James. I think that's kind of a little bit more
3.
Old news. Yeah, I mean, the guy's still up there. He's the king. You give him that?
Really quick on LeBron James, he's almost averaging a triple-double. No, never mind. I take that back. But he's got 11 assists, and he averages about 26 points a game. So he's still a fantastic player.
Of course. Kawhi Leonard, I would have said him probably last year. He's got to be up there. And he kind of proved that he was the best player last year. But how do you not turn away from the Greek freak, Giannis?
Giannis is so good.
I'm going to work myself through this name, though. I practiced this before. I still can't get it. Antetokounmpo. Pretty close?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Good enough for passing?
I'm not Greek.
C- average on that one. But the guy is amazing. A cool story, too. But ever since he's made it to the league, he has just done nothing but destroy and year over year get better and improve himself. And right now, you're throwing those stats out. Eric, I got some stats here for you, buddy.
Yeah, let's hear.
Who's above Luka on points per game? Giannis, 31.1.
There's a couple people, but Giannis is one of them. Harden's another one. Actually, those are the only 2.
He's number 4 in the league right now on rebounds per game. He's also in the top 5 on fast break points and points per game in the paint per game. He's leading the league in that one. The one I also liked that I was saving, he leads the league in fantasy points per game, Eric, and I think that kind of goes a long way. He's the only person with 61.7 points fantasy. It's got to save.
I didn't look at the fantasy numbers. I'll give you that. I didn't look that up.
Yeah, all right. I thought you might enjoy that one.
Now, in fairness, though, I mean, if you want to throw that out there, Luka's actually the one that's close to averaging a triple-double. 10 rebounds a game, almost 9.8 assists a game, and 30.6 points a game. So he's the closest to averaging a triple-double.
Yeah. All right. Which, not going to go against.
He's close to pulling off of... what's his name? Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Where he was averaging essentially a triple-double for a whole season.
Okay.
That's insane.
All right. That is pretty insane. But the Bucks themselves, I would good. Also... Yeah, I kind of give them the edge going toward Giannis, and then the Bucks being able to take on your boys down in Tejas.
Tejas. Oh,
yeah, you're talking about the Mavericks, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are going to do much in the long run. I just think he's an individual player. I think that's also what sets him apart, is that he is able to really hold that team up. I don't see Dallas doing much, especially because they're in the West. They have to deal with teams like the Clippers and the Lakers and the Nuggets and the Jazz. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen. I think for the Mavericks, they're gonna have to go through a gauntlet to make it far.
So transition
it's a
into
bit easier for the Bucks in the East, but the East is a lot better than I feel it has been in a couple years. Toronto is still really, really good, which is surprising to me. The Miami Heat, we already talked about them. They are definitely moving up, and I think they could be a force as well too. But the best team for me right now is the team realistically with the longest track record of being the 2 best players. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. They're fantastic.
It's a stacked roster, a lot of talent on that team, and they are proving it right now with 2 losses so far? I think that's their record.
Yes, 2 losses.
So pretty fantastic. I am still going to stay, though, in Milwaukee. Because I'm going to go with the best player who's going to then create the best team. The team that's got the best chance at success of winning it all at the end. I'm going to give it to Bucks. I think they're ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad pick. You know, Giannis last year kind of fell flat on his face in the Eastern Conference Finals. They did not look good against Toronto, in my opinion. And it didn't work out. Maybe that experience really helps them this year of kind of getting run over by another team. But we'll have to see. The experience, I think, is really where I lean towards someone like Anthony Davis, LeBron James. You know, they have other players on that roster. You know, Dwight Howard is an experienced veteran coming off the bench for them. You know, they have Danny Green. Kyle Kuzma is probably the 3rd best player on that roster. They have a great roster. And same with DeMarcus Cousins, although I think he's currently injured. So he's not going to be playing, but they have a lot of depth and a lot of experience on that roster. So that's why I picked the Lakers.
Let's jump out of the NBA now and into our next segment, which is the Who You Got portion of the show, where we have a topic and we're just going to pick what we think. Well, what we got, Eric.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
All right, on this one, we're doing Super Bowl picks.
Way too early.
Way too early? Yeah,
Super Bowl picks.
I think it was the last time we did this, which was like in the summer.
Yeah, probably.
Before
but now we have
won.
a little bit of research for,
who do we I wish I even remembered who I picked.
I certainly don't.
I don't think I would have said the 49ers, but I'd feel pretty good if I had.
I definitely wouldn't have said the 49ers.
Yeah, okay. That's not my pick, but Eric, I want if you don't mind going first, who you got on Super Bowl pick for your way too early pick?
My way too early Super Bowl pick. Mm-hmm. In the NFC, I'm going to take a team that has gone through some adversity this year, a team that still looks fantastic, and a team that has one of the best and most underrated receivers on their roster.
Ooh.
They have a superstar in the backfield, featuring essentially a video game character and Super Camario and Michael Thomas and Drew Brees and a stacked defense. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints, sitting at 9-2, coming out of the NFC. The NFC is super stacked, don't get me wrong. I don't think Dallas and Philly have been putting it together like we really want to see. I think Green Bay is incredibly overrated. There's no getting around this. Green Bay is overrated. There's no way that team is 8-3. They are not better than a team like Minnesota. They're not better than a team like New Orleans.
Well, and they just proved that.
Yeah.
In week 11?
Oh, the last couple weeks. Aaron Rodgers has looked awful.
Yeah. I don't think it was sustainable. They're coming back to reality a little bit.
One good game.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Eric, I got to say, I like that pick. Good good logic to it, good reasoning.
Yeah. They're going to have to beat San Francisco to get it, but that's what I got in the NFC. Who you got in the NFC?
All right. Well, I'm going to say, the way the Patriots are, of course, shining in that record. They're bound for the playoffs. Just accept that. It's going to be another year of New England showing up to the playoffs. However, we all know if you've watched any NFL this year and just kind of even paid attention just a touch to their schedule, the Patriots have not had that tough of a schedule.
Very weak schedule, and they've struggled against above average competition. Now they've won those games except for Baltimore, who's an elite competitor.
Yes.
But they have struggled against teams like Buffalo and Dallas.
And I'm not necessarily using that victory as the baseline for why I'm going to pick them. But the Patriots, I think, alone, you kind of have to figure out, are they or aren't they? And then you figure out who your Super Bowl selection is. I think this is one year that they don't go all the way. They may win a playoff game. And depending on how
given them trouble in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Especially Harbaugh has given Bill Belichick trouble in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He hasn't always won those games, but he has certainly given him a lot of fits.
No doubt. And that's why I am going with the Oakland Raiders to win Super Bowl, Eric.
Oakland Raiders sitting at 6-5. That is a hot take.
Look how good they're doing, though. No. Raiders would be, I think that would be fun. Entertaining as hell. That would be great. Real pick, though, going Baltimore. Got to.
I like that pick. I'm kind of on that same train. The other team that I like, and they dealt with some adversity this year too, and they did okay with it, but Kansas City. If Kansas City's healthy, they need to get that backfield healthy. Yep. They need to figure out kind of what's going on their offensive line and get that reconnection with the receivers. Their defense is going to be a problem. So I think a team like Baltimore, I'm with you there.
Yeah, even though a healthy KC team did go against Baltimore and took them on. KC won, but Baltimore, I felt like hung in there. And that was kind of before Baltimore really knew what they were as a team. I think they really gelled.
Yeah.
They've
looked unstoppable the last couple weeks. Now they got to keep it going, but